tonight's event, of course, is to benefit Paddle Florida, which is this on the banner behind me. Wonderful group of kayak enthusiasts who do events all over the state. And if you happen to go to paddleflorida.org, you can see their entire schedule, which they just published for the coming season. Kayak trips are often several days. They might be 3, might be even 9 or 10 days sometimes. And during that time, various musicians will come in and play concerts for people, for the people at night after they get off the water and put up their kayaks and have some food. And those are real fun. I've gotten to meet a lot of the people. They're real nice folks. And it's been kind of a cool thing to do each year. Well, these concerts tend to be a little bit more casual than a formal concert would be. After all, I'm sitting in my living room at my computer. After a long, hard winter, when every woman, child, and man seem caught up in the darkness, no child should have to understand. We set out on the highway where we'd never gone before. Everybody was welcome, everyone was looking for springtime in America, something new under the sun, a moment to remember in the hearts of everyone. You know the journey won't be easy, nothing good can come too fast. There'll be those who stand against us, they're clinging on to their past. They're afraid to lose their privilege, they'll be praying that we fall. But if we only stand together, you know they just can't stop us all. Springtime in America, something new under the sun, a moment to remember in the hearts of everyone. See the seasons are turning, see the harvest grow so tall. May nobody have to go without when the leaves begin to fall. We're gonna sing a song of freedom, one for equality, one for Abraham and John and Bobby, and all those who died so others could be free. We'll sing one for Dr. King. What if he'd only lived to see the far side of the mountain where he'd always longed to be? Springtime in America, something new under the sun. It's a moment to remember in the hearts of everyone. Springtime in America, something new under the sun. It's a moment to remember. Take a moment to remember. Tell your children you were there then, in in the hearts of everyone. You know, in sessions that I've been in, they unmute everybody after every song so people can clap. But I have to do it myself, so I'm not going to do that. All right. I can't forget the day my baby went away. No matter how I try, I seem to lose. I'm aching from the memory, faithful to my destiny, a guy who's always true to the blues. All the world seems out of tune, my heart's an empty room. When love is gone, you sure do pay your dues. I'm talking in my sleep at night, nothing that I do is right. The symptoms are all true to the blues. This time I thought I had found her, the only one designed to be my mate. Now tonight there are other arms around her. I guess I got to be resigned to my fate. The song of love we made is a lonesome serenade that follows me on down the avenue. I walk alone and pity me, I'm happy in my misery, a guy who's always true to the blues. This time I thought I had found her, the only one designed to be my mate. Now tonight there are other arms around her. I guess I got to be resigned to my fate. The song of love we made is a lonesome serenade that follows me on down the avenue. I walk alone and pity me, I'm happy in my misery, a guy who's always true to the blues, a guy who's always true to the blues. All right. We are raising money tonight for Paddle Florida, so if you like the concert and you want to help out, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do it on Facebook, and you can do it by going to my website, where there's a link which actually will take you to Paddle Florida's website, and there's a donate button there. So if you can donate something, You can also go directly to paddleflorida.org, and that will take care of that. All this bells and whistles are distracting. It's like hard to just focus on playing and singing the guitar. Just because you've got a few stockholders holding out their hands, you think that gives you the right to do anything you want to public land. And you've lined up all the politicos, you've dotted all the I's and crossed the T's. You thought of everything, but one thing you must have overlooked is me. 'Cause this is my land, I own it just as much as you. If I say we're gonna keep it green, that's just what we're gonna do. Just because the world is overwired with every gadget you could buy, you think that gives you some kind of right to rule the sky. And your smoke is drifting out over the forest just as far as you can see. You got it all together, but one thing you must have overlooked is me. 'Cause this is my sky, I own it just as much as you. If I say we're gonna keep it blue, that's just what we're gonna do. Just because there's oil neath the waters and profits in the air, you look out on a clear blue sea, you wanna drill most everywhere. And you're fouling up the beaches, killing off a million birds and trees. Yeah, you thought of everything, but one thing you must have overlooked is me. 'Cause this is my sea, I own it just as much as you. And if I say we're gonna keep it deep and blue, that's what we're gonna do. Just because it's expensive to change the way you do the things you do, you want to ignore everything the way you do has brought the planet to. And it's getting warmer every day, and still you pretend that you don't see. You can go on like you're doing, but you're gonna have to do it without me. 'Cause this is my world, I live here just as much as you. If I say we're gonna keep it green, that's just what we're gonna do. Yeah, this is my world, I live here just as much as you. If I say we're gonna keep it green, that's just what we're gonna do. Okay. How we doing out there? We all right? Let's see if we got any other chat remarks. Nope. Okay. Well, there's been a lot of unrest in the past few days over the triggered by the killing of George Floyd in Minnesota. And of course, it's nothing new. It's been going on for decades, hundreds of years, probably. But I'd like to make note of the fact that I've been writing about it now for at least a couple years. Here's a song from my last CD, Beginning Again. Don't speak to me of God if you just mean white on black. Speak to me of justice, and when you have done justice, you can speak to me of God. Hey, don't shout to me of freedom if all you mean is profit. Whisper your compassion, and when you've shown compassion, you can shout to me of freedom. Tell me then of science, of knowledge, of wisdom. Some light's bound to find the cracks. If you've prepaid for your opinions and pre-ordered your ignorance, you should demand your money back. Hey, don't sing to me of love and then assault my body. Show some understanding, and when you've shown your understanding, you can sing to me of love. You can't sell peace and quiet if all you mean is status quo, and there's a necessary change in the wind. If you won't speak for justice, you gotta know that justice will speak for herself again. Hey, so don't speak to me of faith, yours or any others. Speak to me of justice, and when you have done justice, you can speak to me with love. All right. I think I'll have a slug of coffee. That's from this CD, I think it is. No, that one's from Beginning Again. Well, how are we doing over here? We got some folks tuning in and watching. Good. Okay. All right. I see most people are choosing to not be seen, but that's all right. No problem for me. If I could, I'd like to write one good song for you, one good song for you to sing whenever you feel blue, when the world lets you down but tries to blow itself up. If I could write that song, that would be enough. Hey, if I could, I'd like to sing a word to you so kind, a word so kind that it would always bring you peace of mind, a light against the world, some peace instead of war. That's the kind of song I know you'd be looking for. And I'd sing, love is the answer, love is the power. Here is the place, now is the hour. Let love be here with us all. Yes, if I could, I'd like to write one good song for you, one good song for you to sing whenever you feel blue. Then if you'd ever need me, I'll be there for you. Oh, what I'd give if I could write one good song for you. And I'd sing, love is the answer, love is the power. Here is the place, now is the hour. Let love be here with us all. Hey, sing it with me. You folks at home. Hey, love is the answer, love is the power. Here is the place, now is the hour. Let love be here with us all. Well, let's have some fun. Google me, baby, Google me all night long. Google me, baby, Google me all night long. Want you to Google me, honey, till my bag ain't got no bone. I could change the world, but I got to do my laundry first. I could change the world, but I got to do my laundry first. Before I can change the world, you know I gotta change my shirt. I got a bird that can whistle. I got a bird that can sing. I got a bird that can whistle. You know I got a bird that can sing. Yeah, but if you won't Google me, baby, it don't mean a thing. So Google me, baby. Google me all night long. Yeah, Google me, baby. Google me all night long. Want you to Google me, honey, till my back ain't got no bone. All right. Nobody's made any requests yet. Hi, Janice. How about I unmute your mic for a minute, Janice, and we let's see if I can. It says I have to ask you, I guess. There it is. Go ahead and see if you can unmute your mic yourself.
I think I'm unmuted.
There you go. Yes, you are.
Hear me?
Yes. Everybody, this is Janice Hinson. She is part of the staff at Paddle, Florida. So, Janice, tell us a little bit about Paddle, Florida for the folks here who don't know anything about it.
Yeah. So, first of all, hello, everyone. It's so great that we're all here listening to Rod. And I just wanted to say that we heard him play for a week in aquaturning with his beautiful wife, Nicole, and the girls.
Oh, yeah.
And that was so much fun. The nicest swimming pool I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, so I'm with Paddle Florida. Paddle Florida is a nonprofit. We're headed into our, I guess that's our 14th season and our 65th trip over the past several years. And our mission is to promote water conservation, wildlife preservation, restoration of springs, and protection of waterways in Florida. And we do that by hosting multi-day paddling trips. So this upcoming season, we have 3 new trips in November. November, we'll be down in the 10,000 Islands for a paddling festival. In December, we'll be in Sebastian, in Treasure Coast. And then in March, we'll be on the Chipola River, which is just fantastic. Lots of clear, beautiful turquoise water. And so Rod was kind enough to do the concert to, benefit Paddle Florida. So I'm going to do my PBS 1-minute spiel here. So when you go to our donate page, you just, scroll down. Did you figure it out?
There you are. Hold it up again.
I might look better further away. All right. So this is the Paddle Florida Buff, free with your $25 donation. Free with your $50 donation is this beautiful dry bag. Very nice. Free with your $75 donation is this beautiful dry fit shirt with the Paddle Florida supporter on the back. And this is the front. And free with your $100 donation is this set of prints, which are printed on glass. Beautiful. So that's the Paddle Florida spiel. Thanks for listening to me.
Nice.
Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah.
Vincent van Gogh made a painting of Dr. Gachet in 1890, just before he died. The doctor didn't buy it. In fact, Vincent van Gogh never sold a painting while he was alive. It was 15 years later when Vincent's brother Theo sold the painting for a price it broke his heart. to a local art collector who sold it some years later to a genuine dealer of art. But the painting Van Gogh couldn't sell has become too valuable for anyone to ever see again. Sterilized, humidified, safe from all prying eyes, wouldn't Van Gogh be surprised to see his work so highly prized today? Or maybe he'd turn over in his grave. Vincent Van Gogh rarely traveled. He never saw America. Spent his whole life painting bridges and hay on farms. Didn't go to cocktail parties or do commercial endorsements or hit the town with starlets on his arm. But his painting crossed some borders and the dealer made a profit when he sold it to a German businessman who took it to America when he emigrated just before the Holocaust began. Now the painting Van Gogh couldn't sell has become too valuable for anyone to ever see again. Humidified and sterilized, safe from all the prying eyes, wouldn't Van Gogh be surprised to see his work so highly prized today? Or maybe he'd turn over in his grave. In America, the businessman's estate was liquidated, and a corporate oil executive and his wife bought the painting for an investment and took a tax deduction when they loaned it to a museum all his life. Then America changed its tax laws. The oil executive's widow couldn't deduct it, so she had to change her plan. She put the doctor up for auction. It sold for $50 million to a certain businessman from Japan, who took it home to his place where he designed an airless case, and the painting could be safely stored away for some future billionaire to see. But I believe that you and me have seen the last of Dr. Gachet. 'Cause the painting Van Gogh couldn't sell has become too valuable for anyone to ever see again. Humidified and climatized, safe from all our prying eyes, wouldn't Van Gogh be surprised to see his work so highly prized today? Or maybe he'd turn over in his grave. True story. Wrote that song after reading about it in the International Herald Tribune while riding on a train in Europe one day. Pretty interesting little piece of history. And as far as I know, the painting is still not surfaced in public. I believe that it's still sequestered away somewhere. The guy who bought it, the billionaire mentioned at the end of the song, died, I think about 3-4 years ago, and he owed $2 billion to a consortium of banks at the time of his death, but had this awesome art collection. So I presume that some bankers got it stashed away someplace. It not only includes Dr. Gachet, but I believe there's a couple Monet paintings and some others in there too. I'm going to do a couple of these requests that are up on here, and then I'm going to play a song that I've been been working on as a recording. This is a little dance tune, and I always wish that some legitimate, Cajun Creole accordion dance band would record this song. So far, no such luck. I remember when there was that first dance in school. The boys lined up on one side of the room. Oh, the girls lined up on the other side of the room. Everybody trying to play it cool. Then there was Zydeco. Ooh, I just want to dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just want to dance all night with you. Now the river's flowing steady through the night and the day. I feel my life drifting out to sea. But I can feel my woman's love flowing into me. I know tonight we'll dance the night away. Yeah, dance to Zydeco. Oh, I just want to dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just want to dance all night with you. Sometime they'll come an end to all the fighting and the pain. Sometime we're gonna follow the sun. Sometime there'll be a world where all the hatred is gone. We'll dance to that sweet song again. Yeah, dance to Zydeco. Oh, I just wanna dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just want to dance all night with you. Yeah, dance to Zydeco. Oh, I just want to dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just want to dance all night with you. All right, I gotta play it on my nickel accordion here. Zydeco. Oh, I just wanna dance all night to Zydeco. Come on, baby, let me swing you to and fro. I just wanna dance all night with you. Oh, I just want to dance all night with you. Hey, well, that was fun. Okay, so here's a recording project I'm working on. During this lockdown, I decided early on that I wasn't going to sit around and watch TV all the time. So I've been working on some projects, and I'm going to have a novel come out in a couple of months. It's a novel I started writing around 1980 or so and finally finished about 15 years ago. And then but it was all on paper, which, as you know, is like the dinosaur age. And so I read it using software into a computer, and we were able to edit it, and it's going to come out. It's called The American Guerrillas, Guerrillas, and that's going to come out sometime this summer, I think. And also, I'm hopefully going to have a new CD pretty soon. But the CD is going to be all older songs. In fact, I don't know if I've ever, had this experience, but one of the things that is, as a fan, one of the great things is hearing somebody when they first come out and then kind of watching them grow up in public. Like, imagine, for example, if Bob Dylan hadn't gotten signed to Columbia Records at the age of 20 and you never heard Blowin' in the Wind. And finally, when he was 35 years old, he got signed to some obscure folk label from the Midwest and put out his first album, and Blowin' in the Wind was never heard by the general public. Well, that's, to some extent, my story. Not that there's any Blowin' in the Winds in my background, probably, but I didn't make an album until I was 35 years old. And as a result, by the time I did, I had probably a few dozen songs that I had written and sung and, played for audiences in New York, and many of them I even now get requests for that I never recorded. But there's one particular group of songs that were the very first songs that I wrote. They were the songs that I played in my early coffee house gigs and when I worked at Max's Kansas City in New York, opening for Peter Yarrow's comeback tour one year. And they're songs that actually predate the time that I moved to the Village. And so I was thinking about them and thinking that I really ought to try to find them. And I didn't know what to do because I didn't know all of them. I mean, I knew how they went and I knew phrases, but I didn't know all the words. And then just before my mom passed away in November and my sister a year ago, just before we sold my mom's house, I was cleaning out a desk and I found a notebook with all of these old songs typed in them. And my sister had diligently saved them all these years for me or for herself, or just, which is a wonderful thing. And so there I was. And so I went over to the empty house one night just before we sold it, and I recorded them all. Played them each 3, 4, 5 times until I thought I had one good version of each song. And then I was there for like 10 hours, just doing nothing but this. And I've been slowly working my way through them, mixing them. They're all recorded, guitar and voice tracks separate and stuff like that. There's a certain amount of background noise I've had to figure out how to filter out. And I'm getting it together, and we're in the final mixing stages of that. So I'm hoping that will come out. And the songs are kind of interesting to me because they're, as I say, they predate my time in the Village. For example, here's a song that I wrote in what I'm pretty sure is the spring of 1972, when I was living on 157th Street and Broadway in New York City, in a neighborhood that the locals refer to as Spanish Harlem. Suzette Crape ain't got no place to call it home. And I'm a sucker for a mango shake and a belly full of provolone. Don't buy my dinners with a credit card, just picking up the quarters in my own backyard. Working on the sidewalk for an extra bar of chocolate. Hey, you've got to win if you even show. Don't buy your ticket till it's time to go. And they say it's so on the Broadway, I know. On the Sunday streets, the old men meet, lying in piles of dominoes. Oh, the lucky man with the top hat, calling, hey now, away it goes. There's some music in it, though, and I gotta dance. Senorita, won't you come on, give me just one chance. Gliding down the sidewalk for an extra chunk of romance. Hey, you got to win if you even show. Don't buy your ticket till it's time to go. And they say it's so on the Broadway, I know. And hey, in the window, they're crawling down the fire hose, running across the rooftops. Bet they didn't teach you that in Great Neck. And I don't understand a single word of Spanish. I can't call a spade a spade. And sometimes I stand out like a white man's handout, sitting out the world he made. But I cruise through the stickball game around my feet, slalom through the traffic when I cross the street. Smile at being left the way I want to be in this town. Hey, you got to win if you even show. Don't buy your ticket till it's time to go. And I know it's so on the Broadway, I know. Yeah, you got to win if you even show. Don't buy your ticket till it's time to go. And I know it's so on the Broadway, I know. That's fun to play. Well, let's do a little tune about the ecology of Florida here, since we're singing about Paddle, Florida today. In the long history of Florida, let's go back 12,000 years, when the land was roamed by mastodons, mammoths, and short-faced bears. The sea was 100 feet lower than the coast, 70 miles further out. Survival depended on finding fresh water for the first few people coming south. And the Osceola River flowed under the ground in its own world of limestone and sand. You could almost believe it was hiding from human hands. The horses and the camels and the bisons moved on. The saber-toothed cats all died, along with the glyptodonts and the giant-toed sloth, when the first few people arrived. For the only fresh water was in limestone holes and ravines down in the ground. And the human beings with their sharp-tipped spears were always hanging around. And the Osceola River flowed under the ground in its own world of limestone and sand. You could almost believe it was hiding from human hands. The land grew warmer, the water rose, the ice age came to an end. Rivers flowed over the limestone holes, warm was the winter rain. Everything that survived adapted. The river of grass was born. Mosquitoes and gators found it to be an excellent hunting ground. 12,000 years later, and what have we learned? The saber-toothed cat's all gone. Blue herons, chameleons, and plastic flamingos are drinking at the country club ponds. Development harvests the river of grass to build more suburban homes. Whole species of life are dying of thirst as we water our beautiful lawns. And the Osceola River flows under the ground in its own world of limestone and sand. You could almost believe it's hiding from human hands. And the Osceola River flows under the ground in its own world of limestone and sand. You could almost believe it's hiding from human hands. Seems like there ought to be a way to look each other in the eye, to see we're all in this together, and put all thoughts of victory aside. Seems like there ought to be a way to turn some fear into trust. No matter what you say, there has to be a way. Every living thing is counting on us. Seems like there ought to be a way to separate the freedom from the flag, to see what's real in the illusion. Sometimes a beauty walks around in rags. Seems like there ought to be agreement. We would rather live in peace than fight. No matter what you say, there has to be a way. Every living thing is on our side. Seems like if there's a God in heaven, we must have been put here to get along, to see that life is for the living, to leave a life the living when we're done. Seems like this ship out on the ocean must fly on the wing of the dove. No matter what you say, there has to be a way. Every living thing is reason enough. Seems like this ship out on the ocean must fly on the wing of the dove. No matter what you say, there has to be a way. Every living thing is reason enough. No matter what you say, There has to be a way. Every living thing is reason enough. In case anybody's joined us since we started and didn't hear the announcements, this concert tonight is to benefit Paddle Florida, this organization right here, which is a wonderful group of kayakers that lead people on wilderness expeditions by kayak through the Florida Keys, through various rivers and lakes around Florida. I've sung for them a few times. Great group of people and good friends. And so if you can support them, please do. There is a donate button on Facebook, on my page, the Rod MacDonald page. There's also a donate button on the Paddle Florida website, which is paddleflorida.org. You can, I'm sure, find it very easily there. So if you can spare something, I'd much appreciate it. And you don't have to give me anything. I'm not accepting donations. This is just for Paddle Florida tonight. Well, one of our listeners tonight, who's goes by the name of Captain Rob, is a good friend of mine who lives on a boat, a sailboat, well, actually a motorboat with a motorized boat, not a sailboat, but has extensive sailing experience and has actually sailed across the Pacific on a two-man boat. Rob lived down here in South Florida for a while, and we hung out together a lot. We used to call him Honest Rob. He used to come to the festivals with me and sell my CDs. And we'd say, Honest Rob's motto is, we stick it to the other guy and pass the savings on to you. And this is a song from Songs of Freedom, and takes place in the lower depths of the Pacific Ocean. In fact, actually down in the Southern Sea, in a place called Tasmania, otherwise known in folklore as Van Diemen's Land. It's a tale of a young man, a real person named John King, who ended up there and spent the rest of his life there for probably no real good reason. My name it is John King. From Liverpool I came down to London in the spring for to make my name. For I had learned to work the silver, how to bend the blade. I was carrying a sample of the finest I had made. I went into a London shop of fine cutlery and showed the man my handiwork. He just stared at me and called for a policeman, for whom he then did say, this man's a thief, he stole this knife, please take him away. The judge said, son, you stole that knife right up off the shelf. Says I to the judge, sir, I made that blade myself. But I haven't no money, he a man of worth. He sent me to Van Diemen's Land, the bottom of the earth. We sailed out on the foamy sea, never to return home, with naught to do but sit below, chained to weep and mourn, and sit in our own foulness, starving to our deaths, till we arrived in Hobart Town, 11 of us left. 7 years was I a slave, then one day set free, and followed by a policeman who soon arrested me. From high up on his bench the judge said, you'll be leaving soon, and sent me to Port Arthur that very afternoon. So choose your weapon wisely, boys, I'll make for you a knife. You're here in Port Arthur for the rest of your natural life. Port Arthur prison is a place not fit for man or beast. There's no escape by land, and by sea of men will freeze. It's here the prisoners built the ships of His Majesty's line, to keep the king in empire and the governor in fine wine. There's been a killing and no one knows whose hand took our life. We're short a man to mind the ship, a new prisoner arrives. Here at the bottom of the world is what my life is worth. It's I who make the iron bars, enslaving all the earth. So choose your weapon wisely, boys, I'll make for you a knife. You're here in Port Arthur for the rest of your natural life. So choose your weapon wisely, boys, I'll make for you a knife. I'm here in Port Arthur for the rest of my natural life.
Thank you. You know, that harmonica piece has its own name, actually. I should have put it on the CD, but it's called, I think of it as called Elegy for John King.
They say you've got to lose before you can win. They say you've got to choose before you can give in. And you've got to cut loose to get back again, and it's a long way back home. They say you've got to fall before you can land. They say you've got to crawl before you can stand. And you've got to lose it all to get what you planned. And it's a long way back home. And it's a long way back home. When you're standing on some place you've never known, and I might see you where the rivers flow, like me. You're looking for a white buffalo. They say you've got to die before you can live. They say you've got to cry before you can give. And you've got to say goodbye before you can come back in. And it's a long way back home. They say you've got to see what you're going to grow. They say you've got to need what you're going to let go. And you've got to believe what you're going to know. And it's a long way back home. And it's a long way back home. When you're standing on some place you've never known, and I might see you where the rivers flow, like me. For white buffalo. So I say to you farewell, for we will meet again in the hottest flames of hell. I could only call you friend. And when you hear that final bell, do not ask whose round you're in, till you found your way back home. And it's a long way back home. When you're standing on some place you've never known, and I might see you where the rivers flow, like me. You're looking like me. Yeah, you're just like me. You're looking. You're just like me. You're looking for a white buffalo.
thanks everybody so much. It's been great fun singing for you. And check my Facebook page or my website, and I'll be doing, some concerts online and maybe even playing live occasionally somewhere. Hope I'll see you soon. And take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And keep in touch. All right. Bye-bye. I'm going to sign off now.